Today in the crypto space, we see a mix of green and red price action throughout the market. Bitcoin hovering around that $24,800 mark and Ethereum hitting that $1,800 level. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, are a mix of green and red as well. Solana coming down, Aptos, Injective, Rune, and many others. And we also have some good gainers like Cardano, HBAL, Elrond, and Mana. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin, one project that is looking pretty good. And of course, we're going to be talking about ORAICHAIN. So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency. We talk about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate that strategy, subscribe to the channel, click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. But of course, guys, join that Discord. The Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, learning material, and all that good stuff. All right, guys, let's see what's going on here with Bitcoin and the rest of the market. We see Bitcoin kind of taking a bit of a dip in the last little while. It did rally up, got rejected, and came right back down to the bottom of the range. Ethereum kind of doing the same thing, you know, coming down again back to the bottom levels of potential support. Do we hold those levels of support, or do we start breaking down? And this is the thing here, guys. Momentum is kind of giving me that indication that Bitcoin could be looking for a lower level move. But of course, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin in just a second to give us that indication as a leading indicator for the rest of the market. But you can also see some of these altcoins pulling back. We have Solana coming down. We have Cardano waking up to the upside. That's pretty good. Finally getting Cardano to the upside is really, really healthy. Of course, we have what else do we have? A lot of these altcoins, Chainlink coming down again after a bit of a sideways consolidation again. Polygon coming down a little bit. Polkadot coming down, maybe or going sideways. We have a few other dips. AVAX kind of getting a bit of a dip. You know, some of the gainers that have already ran up are currently, you know, looking for a bit of a retracement. OKB coming down. And as you can see, these little retracements, some of them are actually bigger than others, of course, touching those previous lows. We have Near Protocol holding its level, holding sideways, up 30% in the last 7 days. And as some of the altcoins are coming down, Near Protocol is holding up pretty strong. So I appreciate that when I see projects holding up against negative momentum. Quant coming down to those lower level, guys, below that $100 mark. You know, Quant getting rejected at that $100 level almost as a confirmation is not looking good for Quant. So maybe we can take a look at Quant tonight in tonight's live stream. And of course, if you have any projects you want me to cover, that is a good time for you to make those requests and I'll put them in top priority. Quant is something that I'm interested in looking at. We have VeChain getting a bit of a pullback. Mantos waking up a little bit, up 7.5%. What else? A few dips. Injective rolling over maybe a little bit. Nothing crazy, but maybe looking like a bit of weakness here. Caspa getting a bit of a rejection. Nothing too crazy, but it looks like a confirmation high. To be honest, a lower high not looking good. Do we get a lower low? Lower highs, lower lows. The trend is your friend. Maybe we're getting a bigger picture reversal on Caspa. So we'll take a look. Maybe we can take a look at Cas tonight as well. I'll put it in the maybe section and we'll see what's going on there with Caspa tonight. What else do we have? We have Stacks, okay, going sideways kind of. What else? We have Multiverse X, Elrond, the old Elrond. You know, it's looking pretty good. You know, at the end of the day, it's waking up, finally waking up 15% in the last little while. So that's good. Altogether, you know, haven't been that interested in Elrond, but nonetheless, it's doing good. So congratulations if you're in on Elrond. Thorchain taking a bit of a pullback here, down approximately 5 to 6%. Guys, you know, this is the name of the game. When you see top gainers like that in those double-digit gains, that's when you got to respect it and take a bit of profits. You know what? At the end of the day, if you want to call yourself a profitable trader, you need to take profits, and that's the reality. So if you're up in those green territories, if you're up in those double digits in gains, make sure you take some off the top and trail up that stop loss. What else do we got here? A few dips, a few rallies, nothing too crazy. Synthetics coming down a little bit. XDC going sideways after a bit of green. Nothing too crazy here. Nothing too interesting. Nothing too interesting. Obviously, tonight we'll look at this in a little bit more detail, but general consensus here in the market is, you know, we're getting a bit of pops here and there still, but a few dips on bigger altcoins that have been running up. So maybe a sign of weakness throughout the market. Pepe coming down to lower levels. What else do we have here? GMX coming down. Radix getting a bit of a pop, but still kind of going sideways within its range. That's looking interesting to me. I like bottom of the range price action, getting signals of support with nice bullish divergence. I'm interested. All right. So overall, guys, be careful with those gains. Be protective. Get defensive. Protect them at all costs. The market's going to want to take them back. And unless you take profits, there's no way you're going to get them back. Okay, so be proactive and preventative, because at the end of the day, those green bags are hard to come about, and if you did the right thing to get them, protect them. All right, guys, let's get into a more price action. I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin looking at Bitcoin. What is going on here with Bitcoin? Bitcoin has been looking super strong in the last little while, but then in the last couple of days, we've been seeing signs of divergence, signs of potential weakness, signs of potential, you know, due for a pullback type of scenario, right? It is up significantly, and this is the thing here, guys. Is it due for Bitcoin to take a bit of a break, maybe even a retracement? So let's look at this in a little bit more detail. Bitcoin, at the end of the day, here on the daily, has been looking really good, but it has been hesitant. So it rallied up pretty good. Now it's pretty hesitant right here. And at the 1.618 extension, it's a good level to expect a retracement or reaction, whatever you want to call it, a pullback. It's very likely that we could see that. Now, even if your mindset is, look, Bitcoin's going to high levels, I agree, Bitcoin will eventually get there. But are we going to get short-term pullbacks? And I do believe that that's going to happen. Even midterm pullbacks, meaning bigger pullbacks. Some people don't believe that Bitcoin can't come down to 20K. And the reality is it can absolutely come down to 20K. And I am going to be prepared for that if it's going to happen. If it's going to bless the market with some good fire sales, I want to be prepared for that option. And of course, tonight we'll get into a bit of Bitcoin analysis, big picture, macro conditions, and talk about how this could actually play out. But in the short term, we have to expect that there's potential pullbacks along the way. We do see that Bitcoin right now is definitely overbought here on the daily. We're getting signs of divergence even on the daily time frames right now, which is not a good sign, because the higher the time frame, the more conviction you can put on some of these indicators. All right, so if you look at this, the price action is moving up. Higher highs on the price action, and we got a bit of a rejection, can't deny it. And look at that we'll talk about the rejection in a second. And then all of a sudden we see that the RSI is creating those lower highs. So bearish divergence on the daily, not looking good in overbought conditions. Overbought, bearish divergence at resistance, 1.618 extension levels. Good move to the upside, overextended on all time frames, leads me to believe that now is the time to de-risk. Either you're going to take profit, either you're going to start entering short positions to hedge against some of the dips that we may get, or at best start accumulating cash just in case, so that you can buy dips at lower levels. Okay, so this is something that we got to consider. But the overall bearishness really stems from the 4 hour, because that's where we were starting to build our thesis on the 4 hour. But now the daily's in confluence with the 4 hour, which is, you know, kind of scary at the end of the day, because the daily is giving you that confirmation, you know, as the 4 hours building that thesis. And we talked about a potential breakdown, and then we also were prepared for this potential pop to the upside, right? And we talked about the Adam and Eve pattern. Adam and Eve, nice V recovery with a rounded bottom, a nice neckline that needed to break, and we got that break. This is why position size is important. Although I did identify the bearish divergence from here to here, right? Downward sloping price action as the price action was going up. I did anticipate the fact that we could get another impulsive move to the upside to sweep the highs and get some liquidity, and to see if we actually have enough strength to get to higher levels. Well, guess what? We did. We got up there and we hesitated and we retraced right back down. Now, what's more important, not in the price action for me is great, fine. But what's even more important is the fact that the bearish divergence is still intact on this 4 hour. You can see that the momentum is still pushing down, and the MACD is almost confirming it right now. We might get another EMA cross right here and get into the bearish control zone very soon. If it happens, guys, it's not looking good for Bitcoin. It could come down to test the 32K level at best. At best, we get down here. Let's see what happens in the immediate short term. We backtest the previous breakout level, which is right around here at 32K. We'll see that if the momentum gets completely oversold here on the daily, on the 4 hour, and then we got to pay attention to what's going to happen on the daily, because if the daily gets oversold, guys, it's possible that we might come back down to 25K and even as low as 20K, guys. So what we have to do is take it one step at a time. That's one of the limitations as a momentum trader. I wait for momentum to give me the signal, and unless the momentum is not giving me the signal, I can't call tops or bottoms or DCA opportunities or take profit opportunities. You know, I do put general targets based on supply and demand, based on horizontal support and resistance, but those are just targets that I'm going to anticipate a reaction only if and when the momentum shows me that signal. So right now we're overbought. Nice, right? A decent level of resistance. We broke above this level, which I expected a bit of a reaction, and we blew right above it based on a short squeeze. And now we're right here, kind of consolidating, getting all this divergence signals on the 4 hour and also on the daily. So for me, I'm not interested in getting into fresh longs on Bitcoin whatsoever, because at the end of the day, it did run up 40% from its bottom, and we're getting all these signals of divergence, and it's overheated, my opinion. Okay, so none of this is financial advice. Obviously, it's just what I'm doing, and I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and you know, hedge my bets, and at the end of the day, take some profits across the board. And guys, I've been doing that. I've been letting you know that I've been taking profits on all my altcoins yesterday and the day before, taking profits heavily. Okay, so this is what the name of the game is for me, especially if you're up significantly. You want to make sure that you walk away a profitable trader. Now, I would just want to make sure that you understand that there is a volume gap still here, empty and open, ready to accept a dip right into it and get support to that 32K level. So I'm keeping my eye on it. Bearish divergence, good volume gap below. You know, overbought conditions on the daily and the 4 hour. Lots of good indications that we could be rolling over in the immediate short term. But guys, we got to anticipate that we're still very possible to get to about 40K. Okay, so I'm anticipating that as well, but I'm not getting into any fresh longs or any fresh shorts currently at the moment. I am waiting to go short any moment. In fact, I kind of regret not building a position right up to this level, but it's okay. We have lots of time. I'm a swing trader, a momentum trader, and at the end of the day, usually those positions, you know, they come about and you get other opportunities, second or third opportunities to scale in once again. Okay, so let's take a look at the project for today. It's ORAI is the ticker, ORAICHAIN. Looking pretty good. Obviously, it went up pretty hot and ran up based on the AI narrative. A lot of AI projects did a great job in the last little while, and we can see that what's really happening is we created a nice rounded bottom, which is really good, and we're testing previous levels of price action that is acting as resistance to based on the continuation, right? So one thing that I do want to show you here, guys, is that we have a bit of a volume gap right into this zone, which means that if we break above, we can snap to about 560. If we get to 560, that's the next level of resistance that I'm expecting a reaction, a bit of a rejection. Okay, so something to consider. Another thing to consider is that we're very overbought already. We're overbought on the daily, which means that it's a larger time frame, and if we do get rejected any moment now, we also have to watch the 4 hour, because the 4 hour has to show us the bearish divergence as well, and we're going to look for that daily divergence as well. So the daily is not really giving us divergence, it's just very overbought. So we got to get, this is the beginning of a potential pivot. Okay, so we're there, we're at the right moment. Overbought, MACD is way overextended, looking for that rollover a little bit. As you can see, green histogram bar, pale green is already forming, and we see a bit of a, you know, a jitter right here that could eventually give us a bit of a dip. Okay, so that let's consider that. So both the momentum looks overheated and the price action is hitting resistance, as can be seen. Let's get into the 4 hour. What's going on here in the 4 hour? The 4 hour is a different story. You can see that we made higher highs on the price action. Let's clean this up a little bit. Higher highs on the price action. Okay, while the momentum from this spot to this spot is coming down, and equally after that, as the price action confirmed a lower high, we are still coming down with momentum, meaning that, you know, that was just a back test. That was just a confirmation high, a lower high, lower highs, lower low. Next level is coming down to this zone, which is at about $3.20, which would be the next zone to actually have to break below. We got a low, a high right here to watch out for, and also a low and a high to watch out for right here. So this volume gap right now is interesting to me. A lot of confluence in this area for a potential bounce on the 4 hours. So waiting for the 4 hour to get oversold, we come down to this level, get a bounce, get another big picture confirmation high for the daily, because the daily is going to need a confirmation high. So we'll get a short-term bounce, get that right confirmation high on the daily, and then we'll have gotten all our ducks aligned, ready to go for a potential short with lots of data to suggest, look, there's bearish divergence on the daily, the 4 hour got full reset, the 4 hour showing, you know, a bit of weakness. We've been getting confirmations on 4 hour and the daily, and that's where I would be interested in going short. So right now is the time to get into a bearish stance and start looking for indications to build a bearish thesis. The time to go long and absolutely bullish was down here, guys. So you got to get yourself also in the bullish mindset. The people that were bullish, absolutely bullish based on fundamentals, got in on this backtest where these green arrows were. Guys, I made videos on ORAI. I talked about ORAI here. I made you know, significant amount of effort to let you guys know that this was the zone to take risk. Not right now. Right now you're potentially buying the top. So let's look at what kind of gains these individuals that got in here at the bottom, what kind of gains they're in. You could see that even at the top they're right up 180%, and right around this level, right where we are right now, up 140%. Let's say you didn't even catch the absolute bottom. You got in right at this backtest, this little backtest right here. You're up at least 100%. So take half on the double, walk away, make sure you have those gains, you know, because at the end of the day, taking half on the double, really what that means is taking your initial investment off the table to de-risk, right? You don't want to put your gains at risk. You don't want to put your initial investment at risk. So de-risk, right? So right now, this is the name of the game. These individuals right now are interested in protecting those gains. And just because you got in right at this level doesn't mean that these individuals are not going to sell and try to take some profit to de-risk at this level. It's a perfect de-risking level. Now, let's say we do get that rejection. Where would I be interested? I would be looking at some support right here, but I would also be looking for some support right here, and ultimately I would be looking right back in this diagonal, right back at about $2. But the most important thing that I would be paying attention to is momentum, waiting for the momentum to get oversold. Once it's oversold, I'll be looking for the nearest horizontal support, okay? And that's when I will start looking for signs of bullish divergence and good levels of structure that could suggest a hold, a bounce, a good level of support. Okay, so that's something that we really need to pay attention to. The 4 hour again is entering the chop zone, so what you could expect is a bit of consolidation here before it gets finally completely oversold, and that's when I'm going to start looking for, you know, a potential bounce or support right around this level. Just understand that as the price action does evolve and unfold, we could see this EMA right here on the 4 hour slowly creep up and do one of these and act as support as this potentially comes down again and does one of these. Okay, so if that does happen, this is going to have a lot of confluence for potential bounce. Then we get that bounce, we get that confirmation high, and that confirmation high is for the daily, right? As soon as the daily gets that lower high, okay, if it gets a lower high, even a double top, even a higher high, to get a confirmation of Class A bearish divergence, higher highs on the price action, lower highs on the RSI. This is the zone to watch out for. Here, potential around here, if we get slightly higher for a 1.27 extension or a lower low at a, you know, 888 retracement, something like that. And then we'll definitely keep an eye on the 4 hour for precise entries and exits here on the price action. All right, guys, if I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor and slap that like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Guys, don't forget I'm live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. It's a great time and place for you to make those requests on any projects that you're interested in. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.